Misfits and legendary Misfits coming off of a pretty monumental victory there. And we can see we are have the bands underway. LeBlanc coming out. And of course, Rengar, yet again, always have to have that respect band going against Acadian on the top side.
And Acadian, of course, the focus of many bans in the past, and has a pretty diverse champion pool. So I don't know how much Rengar is going to affect him. We saw him force onto something he may not have been too comfortable with in the last game, and no real changes in the pick ban here too much on this side. They have taken Thresh away again to make sure Amelia doesn't get it. They don't want Alberto to get the Nunu either, and nothing taken away from the previous comp run by the Misfits. And if there's one thing that we've learned from Best of X series, there's no reason to change anything if it worked for you the first time around. So for Misfits, they can run the same comp back. We'll have to see what they decide to do on the opposite side. All of the more powerful early game jungles kind of taken off the board here from Dardoch. Nidalee, Rek'Sai not available. They banned the Nunu away from themselves, maybe not wanting to first pick it. So what they decide to do in this game is going to be insanely important. And already, Sejuani locked in early on. This is one Dardoch has played. This is one everybody has played. This is the standard in the jungle. This is what we see time and time again. But this does give them a good, solid, hard engage option that Nunu really did not provide in the previous game. So already building a slightly different composition and much more in legendary style, as they do prefer to team fight. So I imagine if we'll see more of an early game focus to shift over here. And the question for me on the side of the Misfits is, will we see the same picks again? Will we see the TF, the Evelynn, the Alistar? Or now that they're on red side, are they going to adjust their strategy? They're a team with a lot of support staff and a lot of different kind of aspects to their team. Even with a substitute, they do have a lot of options here.
Yeah, and with this Gragas on the board, is about to bring that one up. Would not be surprised. And there it is, actually, just going to get locked in straight away for Alberto. So not surprising whatsoever to see that one getting picked up. And then that Gnar as well for RF had a pretty good game on it in that last one. So yet again, going to bring that one to the forefront. Now, next round of picks here. Pressure is indeed on for Legendary. They need to win this game to push it to that 3-game series if they want a chance of moving into the finals and facing Frank Fang Gaming. Picks coming right out the gates. Looks like they will take the Alistar away, actually, this time from Ramelia. They don't want to fight that one again. We saw that massive 3-person knockup around the Dragon Pit. Really just the turning point of the game for Misfits. But Bishu picking up the Ziggs this time.
This is an interesting transition. Of course, Bishu yesterday showed us exactly how powerful he can be on that Ziggs pick, and definitely something very comfortable for him. I like the Alistar pickup here for Loppally. It's something he's played in the past, and he's been able to have a lot of impact. So we talked about the team fighting composition. Well, there it is. Alistar, Sejuani alone offer an immense amount of engage options here, and Bishu, of course, be pretty easily able to follow up a lot of the damage. Now, this has been banned away from Bishu a lot. He's played this a lot, and he's proven himself to be incredibly comfortable on it, but I'm not sure exactly how well it's going to work out here for him now that Alex Each has the opportunity to counterpick. They're still saving that counterpick for last pick for Alex Each, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I'm not sure how exactly they're going to utilize this pick.
Yeah, this is a very interesting one. I don't know what the game plan is going in. Coupling this one, especially with the Janna going in as well with this Twitch in the bot side. Really interesting mix-up coming in from Misfits this time around. But if anyone can play these picks well and make it work, it is probably this team right here. But last round coming in now for Legendary. All of the pressure falling onto these last 2 picks. Want to see what they're going to bring out for that top lane, for that AD carry. Going against a Twitch, something that we haven't seen really strong in the meta. What do you want to pick up against this and bring to the table?
Twitch is all about the strong backline. Now the thing is, oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
It's the Acadian. Okay, here, let's touch the Twitch. We'll bring it back to the Yasuo in a second, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Acadian special, and I got a chance to talk to Bishu the other day and the Loppally, and they're like, we don't even get to control it. He picks it when he feels he has a good matchup because he never loses lane with this pick when he picks it. So we'll have to see if he can execute there. But this Twitch pick, very vulnerable to people who can get into the back line. Very vulnerable to this Urgot. If the Urgot can find a way in, can find a way to displace here. But if Stixie can sit in the back line, can get the damage off, then that Rat-a-tat-tat is going to do so much damage. It's going to rip through this entire team, but at the same time, Wind Wall is all it's going to take to stop that damage output in its tracks. Interestingly enough, though, looks like we have the Lulu hover over here. An interesting choice, but this is legendary. They're throwing the playbook at the window. They're a new team.
Yeah.
They've just put themselves together. They've just recently started scrimming only a couple of weeks ago. They are at their heart a bunch of solo queue players, and while they're building and trying to find that team identity, they all have these unique, quirky individual picks. And I mean, that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing that Yasuo in the top lane. We're seeing Bishu on this comfort pick Ziggs, despite the fact that it's pretty viable. Urgot, Alistair in the bot lane. They're building a team that they will win team fights with 100%. And for the Misfits, they have to be careful. They've got the disengage options without a doubt, but if Legendary ever find a fight, if Acadian can get ahead, his Yasuo is unstoppable.
Yeah, we've seen this in the past with him in the top side with that. It just can be absolutely devastating. So I'm interested to see how he's going to play this one to form. Honestly, I would love to see his Rengar, but no one will ever let that one go through. It's just too damn good. But we'll have to settle for the Yasuo all the same. So team comps coming out. Big protect the AD carry comp coming in from the side of Misfits. We'll have to see if this Twitch, somebody that we don't, a champion we don't see very often whatsoever, if he is able to carry to victory. That will, in fact, be the question. We'll find out when we get onto the Rift. Till then, we're going to go to a quick little break as we wait for these guys to load in. In the meantime, be sure to join us on Twitter using the hashtag ADCL. Let us know what you guys think about the tournament and who you think is going to win this matchup, whether it's going to be Misfits going 2-0 or if you think Legendary is going to be able to tie it with a 1-1 and push it to a 3-game series. Of course, you can also go online to wellplayed.org/giveaway and enter for the chance to win some awesome Razer Chroma peripherals. All you have to do is follow, I believe, Razer and Wellplayed on Twitter to net stuff. So make sure you go ahead and check that out during the break. My name is Achilles. With me is Sifa. We'll be right back with the potential conclusion of this best of 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alpha Draft Challenger League. We are on to the Rift with what could be our last game of the semifinals. Misfits, if they take a victory here off of Legendary, will propel themselves into the finals versus Frank Fang Gaming. So we're going to have to see if they're able to do just that. But over on the blue team, it is in fact Legendary with the Acadian on the top side with a Yasuo coming out. Dardoch in the jungle with Sejuani. Bishu in the mid on Ziggs. Impactful with the Urgot. Rounding out the bot side, Lope Alley with Alistar.
Of course, on the opposite side, it's going to be Misfits. You know him well. RF in the top lane on that Gnar. Alberto in the jungle on that Gragas. Alex Each in the mid lane. A pretty protective Lulu pick. And Stixay and Remelia breaking up the meta picks with the Twitch and Janna. Picking some interesting things here. And already some early pushes for Vision. And no surprises here. Neither side, or sorry, not neither side. The Misfits do not want the 2v2. Surprise, surprise. No one wants to lane against the Alistar Urgot. So that early Vision, getting that down is going to give them a little bit of safety. We'll let them see where those laning resources are placed and allow them to hopefully get their preferred lane matchup. It is going to split the map in a different way, however. It's going to shift the way the jungle pressure works, and it's going to be interesting to see if Legendary, as a younger and newer team, can kind of respond to this lane swap appropriately. It's been an issue for them in the past. We'll have to see what they do here.
Yeah, equal vision across the board for both these teams, just on opposite sides of the maps. Like, it really comes down to how they're going to utilize this. We can see a bit of invasive play from both sides, opting to take the jungle away from one another. It's going to be Dardoch starting up on the Gromp, actually, whereas Alberto, he's looking for this blue buff. So they're going to go start off strong. Acadian going for the Wolves as well. It looks like we do have that swap coming in, so we will see Stixay and Remelia in the top side. And that's going to be some nice farm coming in for the Twitch.
Definitely, and already Twitch getting, having that safe lane is going to be good for them. We'll have to see exactly what Impactful and Lawpally decide to do with this 2v1 right now, this 2v0 on the bottom side of the map. It looks like we may see an early dragon attempt. We'll have to see how that one develops, and of course, by putting your 2v2 lane in the top side, you do give up a lot of dragon control. We'll have to see if Legendary capitalizes on this. But giving that Twitch a lot of free farm is going to be pretty good. Now, my big question, I haven't seen Twitch in competitive play in a long time. And there's a lot of potential build paths. Last time we saw him really in popularity in KR, I believe a long time ago, it was the Blade of the Rune King, Youmuu's Ghost Blade, kind of that assassin Twitch that was so popular around the Season 4 era of AD carries. And he hasn't seen much play past that, so I'm wondering if that's the build that's remained relevant, or if we're going to see something new and something we haven't seen before coming out for Stixay here.
Yeah, that is a really good point. I too am interested to see how he's going to pick this one up. I can't even remember, what was even the last time that we've seen Twitch in professional play? Was it even last season, or was it before that? It's been so long, I can't even wrap my head around it.
Season 4, I just remember Imp playing it in Champions at some point.
Okay.
with Blade of the Rune King, Youmuu's.
Yeah.
It could even be Season 3 for all I know. I haven't seen Twitch in so long. He went through an era, or through a time when he was really popular, TSM, you remember, right when Loco Doco started coaching, brought out that TF Twitch combo, and I honestly kind of expected to see that here, but it looks like the final pick of Urgot and Yasuo, if that ever was the intent of Misfits, kind of changed things. Alex Each now on a much more defensive pick than we see from him normally, and unsurprisingly, that Lulu's so strong early, going to be able to trade pretty confidently with Bishu, despite his relative mastery over Ziggs as a champion.
Yeah, so we'll see. When these AD carries clash between that Urgot and this Twitch, it's going to make for one interesting engage. We can see Dardoch, Lope Alley playing quite far forward in the top side, trying to get onto Stixay while he's still alone, but not going to be able to find any sort of engage, so that will send those two right back down the river. Going to go hunting for even more kills. You can see Alex Each has that ward forward, will spot out Lope Alley and keep himself pretty safe. He has that help pick shield as well as his Whimsy to keep, giving that increased move speed, so he should be in a pretty good spot. Well, Acadian using that wind wall quite well to try to deny some CS here. But Remelia and Alberto have a pretty good gank on a Lope Alley. Alex Each coming around the backside. He should go down. He does. His first blood going over to the Gragas. Very nice start for Misfits.
And it's crazy because every single team in the AlphaDraft Challenger League has hid in that bush at some point and killed someone. It's happened time. We saw it. We saw it happen to Cloud9 Tempest. We saw it happen to Frank Fang Gaming. Now we're seeing it happen to Legendary. And this vision around the bottom side of the map to help see where jungler's moving is so crucial. And teams are capitalizing on this. Teams that have gone for more standard vision are now being punished for this. And we see Misfits execute so well there as expected. They are the rotational team. They are the team comfortable making that map movement. And now it looks like Alberto going to try to solo out this dragon early on and building an advantage very quickly in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Not sure if we lost you or we lost me, but either way, moving forward, Acadian losing a lot of health here.
All right, can I be heard?
Yes, you can. Let's do it. I thought it was me.
All right, sorry
Figured
about
it
that,
out.
guys. Yeah, microphone started freaking out a little bit, so we missed some action. We're gonna have to go right back over that. I do apologize. So Acadian going down in the top side, but meanwhile, a double kill coming up for Impactful around that dragon pit. Misfits do take it for themselves, so that is a good acquisition for them. But this is an Urgot who's getting one hell of a start. We can see he is just ripping through Alex Teach's health there in the mid lane. Going to be sending him back. Vermilia on the run as well from Dardoch. This is Legendary showing up quite nicely in this game. Gold just about even between the two teams. Dragon still up for Misfits, so they are in a pretty advantageous position. But that is a very fantastic start for Impactful on the Urgot.
Couldn't tell if I needed to jump in or if I was the one who was lagged out. But we figured it out in the end. Sorry to miss a little bit of the play-by-play action there or some insightful color. But, of course, Urgot now up 2 kills. This is not where you want to be against an Urgot. Impactful has proven himself to be a pretty competent AD carry, and now even on a more unique pick like the Urgot, picking up the tier, picking up the pickaxe, establishing himself an early advantage. And on the top side, Acadian actually farming really comfortable as well. So while I thought the Misfits early aggression would put them ahead on this one, Legendary are trading blows back and forth here and are looking really confident, and the gold is dead even on both these teams.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing about the Misfits. Is it because of the Gragas? Is that it, huh? You gotta discriminate because of Gragas.
There's an engage, go!
I put engaged on the bot side, they're locking him up. Looks like he's gonna go down. Flash forward though, yeah, one more auto attack. Alberto will take away that kill. Low Pally having to burn everything, trying to stay alive there. Good engage coming around from Misfits. Be sure, guys, to go ahead, tweet at us, use the hashtag ADCL, and if you want Misfits to win, use the hashtag MisfatsWin to let us know who you're supporting in this game. Otherwise, you can just say Legendary win. But Mega Inferno Bomb does get thrown down to the bot side. It's a cool little animation it's got.
Ziggs. Excellent skin. I highly recommend it for those of you who play Ziggs. It's one of my favorites. And we saw that a well-executed gank by Misfits, instantly getting something back there. Twitch not able to push any further due to a smart Mega Inferno Bomb coming in from Bishu. And both these teams still very even, of almost not noticeable gold lead. The only real advantage present for the Misfits right now is that dragon buff. Not going to affect too many things at this stage in the game, but will continue to scale with them as they move forward. So it'll have a lot larger impact if we continue to see this game stalled out in the future. Acadian looking still pretty confident on the top side of the map as well. Pretty even, pretty slow game. Really the next big question, or the next big fight, is going to be Dragon, or where this level 6 Sejuani or Gragas decide to go, as they're level 5 now and very quickly approaching level 6.
Yeah, that's going to be a potentially huge turning point here. We see now we do have this matchup coming in. Dardoch hovering on the bot side here around the tower, trying to get some sort of engagement. We might see Impactful and Low Pally try to shove up a little bit to be able to get that lane gank in here for Sejuani. He will move forward. This could be potentially devastating for the bot side of Misfits.
This is going to be interesting to see what they do to shut down the switch. Stixay very much needs to get ahead. It looks like he is going to go for the early Blade of the Rune King. Ooh, smart use of that trinket there, spotting out that gank, making sure it can't happen. And, denying that one's pretty important. We'll have to see if Alberto
Yeah, but Alberto's in the wings as he comes in. They get that slow in the lockup. They knock Impactful to the side. Maybe not what they wanted to do. Both teleports now coming in on the box side. Stixay already being taken so low. Acadian's here. They will finish him off. Dardoch finding that kill now. Alberto going to have to be on the run. Throws out the body slam. Really nice counterplay coming in from Legendary. netting themselves a kill and extending that gold lead. Look at that minefield coming in on top of Alex Each, who's taking so much damage, but he's still playing forward, trying to get onto Bishu. Slows him out with a bouncing bomb. That's the Mega Inferno Bomb. A nice Wild Growth will keep Alex Each alive for the time being, but he's just throwing out so many bombs. Alex has to flash away. Bishu still holding on to his. Very nicely played by the Ziggs. Just a little bit too much confidence by Alex. Able to walk out with his life, but has to burn all of his summoners and his ultimate in the process. Not even netting himself a kill.
And while he does get the summoner spell advantage, Bishu's going to be hard-pressed to get anything back in this lane. Going to be able to clear out this wave. Both mid laners most likely going to have to pack. Actually, it looks like they're both going to stay, so a little surprising there. But Lulu has a lot more defensive utility, and at level 9 with that max rank Glitter Lance, can kill Bishu quite easily. Bishu, much more skill shot dependent. The help picks guarantees the Glitter Lance. Bishu doesn't have any skills to guarantee anything. Has to rely on his own mechanical skill to land these skill shots. So if Bishu stays around too long, especially against a Lulu with blue buff, he can find himself very quickly getting taken down here, especially as Crumbzz starts to move towards that mid lane area. Nope, looks like he's headed bot.
Yeah, gotta be hovering around that side. Alex Each still doing a pretty good job, though, of keeping up in CS against this Ziggs we have. You know, historically seen the Ziggs take a wild control over the CS numbers in that mid side. They're just about dead even right now between the two. So looking quite nicely. An assist up, however, for Bishu currently does net him about 150 extra gold, but that's pretty negligible at this point. Of course, and the really stretching, but
the big thing at this point is going to be how quickly can Urgot stack this tier, because that's going to be a major power spike for this team. And if they can engage when Urgot is strongest, when he has that Muramana, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage, and they should pretty easily, honestly, be able to win a fight. However, if they choose the wrong engage, or if they poorly time how they engage here, maybe walk into a Gnar, everything can turn on them quickly. So they have the early game lineup, they have the Wombo combo as expected. Well, let's see what they can get here, though.
Yeah, as they go in for the engage, 6A getting locked up. A huge amount of damage going in onto him. The Monsoon popped by Remilia will heal up a little bit of the HP loss. Looks like that will be a general disengage here on the fight. Alberto doing a good job dispersing the members of Legendary with that explosive cask. Meanwhile, Alex Each getting caught by Bishu. A little bit of damage being exchanged there. Otherwise, not too much coming out.
They're not losing too much for that at all, and of course Impactful did have to sacrifice his flash. They have to be careful moving forward into this lane, especially as Stixay gets closer and closer to the Blade of the Rune King, but it looks like Dardoch ready for a repeat performance.
Yeah, the Hyperkinetic Position Reverser has been burned out. Stixay gets flipped to the side, and look at that damage being burned out by Impactful. He does find the kill. Well executed gank coming in there, started off by the Urgot, might open them up. Might open Legendary up to start their first dragon of the game. Looks like they will do just that. Alex Each and Remilia going to be hovering around this mid-side. Pink's coming out on that dragon as Alberto is hovering around low pally, doing what he can to play on the forefront. Likely going to try to headbutt Alberto away. There it is as it comes through. Can he get into the pit for the steal? He comes in. He does not get it. It goes over to Legendary now. 1-1 in that regard. Low pally has to flash away, get away from Alberto. Dardoch taking a heck of a lot of damage. The Mega Inferno Bomb comes through though, and Bishu finds the kill onto Alberto. And this is Legendary coming up huge. The knockback from the satchel triggers the last breath for Arcadian as he goes in onto RF as he tries to kite back. Alex Each is here though. They get the kill. But look at that damage coming in from Urgot. One more hit. RF goes down, and Impactful finding that one. And now it's going to be a double kill as Alex Each goes down. But here comes Stixay. He's firing back, trying to get more kills. But Impactful is still there on the backside, just ripping through Remilia. One more attack could take down. It's actually going to be a triple kill. The poison from Stixay will find it. What was that, a 4 for 4? Almost, I think, a 5 for 4 in the end of things, because Stixay actually died at the start and then came back into everything. But my God, what a cluster of a fight. But Dragon, in the end, going over to Legendary, and they establish a pretty damn good gold lead after that fight.
9-7 now in a single burst of action. Such a calm game. A little bit of action here and there. An early Urgot double kill to get excited about, but no real team fight. And then in that single burst, an insane amount of kills as we put in an absolute bloodbath. And this Urgot pick for Impactful is absolutely insane in the damage that it can put out. And Stixay just getting ripped through, does not have the damage output to get much of anything in that fight. 4 and 3, all due to cleaning up the kills. Present from his teammates there, and Misfits kind of showing some signs of weakness here as just some excellent play from Impactful. Dardoch and Acadian puts them ahead. Another engage though.
Yeah, trying to find A kill there on a Vishu, only going to get some damage. Pretty significant chunk of his HP being burned out, though. 6A now has that Blade of the Rune King as well as the Berserker Greaves completed. Going to be doing quite nicely for him. Should be able to, you know, with a couple more items, turn into that assassin that Twitch needs to be. But for the time being, definitely playing an uphill battle. Alex each getting caught out by Dardoch, who does have that Glacial Prison available. Not going to throw it out. The Wild Growth coming through from Alex each, so he does pop that one.
Misfits are going to get a tower on the top side, though. They didn't lose too much for that. They're superior map movement paying off for them, but it looks like the mid lane may go down for the legendary lineup, so potentially the one-for-one trade here. Twitch more than happy to take this time to farm on the bottom side of the map. Now the big itemization difference here, Urgot has only finished stacking that tier, but has finished that Frozen Heart, so not only are those Acid Hunters going to come out that much faster, but Twitch is going to have that much harder time getting his damage off. As Cadian trading back and forth here may actually try to all-in RF here. Has to be careful.
Yeah, definitely has to be careful. Alberto waiting in the wings. Looks like he may not need to go in. Dardoch, though, from the side. The Glacial Prison coming through, not going to connect. Zedek Smithy, but RF getting popped up in the air. The Meganar not able to come through in time. He gets taken down. Bishu finishing him off, and Lopali just waiting in the wings in case he was needed. Not able to go down, but really great pickups here coming in for Legendary. Looking to tie this one in a 1-1.
Maintaining their 2K gold lead. It's 16 minutes in. It's 1-1 in Dragons. The turrets are even as well, but Cadian is slowly but surely scaling up. Bishu's getting to that point with this blue buff where he can clear just about any wave in the game, and Misfits really need to find a pick if they want to get anything. Or they can play a game of patience, but they have to be careful to do so. Stixay is going to scale amazingly into this late game with this Twitch pick. But maybe an engage.
Oh, wow, look at all that damage coming through on the Bishu. Stixay trying to get that last hit in, but here comes Dardoch to lock him up. He's just getting so greedy. He goes down, but Alberto will confirm with the explosive cast, but now he's in such a bad spot as he gets knocked up in the air by Low Valley on the run here, but Dardoch has the slows. Can he escape? Body Slam comes up. Has to use it straight away. Can't even get over the wall. RF coming through to try to get the slows, but Dardoch has a dash of his own. Completely out of mana. Should have to peel out, but Acadian flashing forward gets the dashes through. Windwall down, but now he's in the thick of three members of Misfits, but Low Pally from the side. Impactful coming in. They're just popping people up in the air all over the place. RF going to have to be on the run despite the Meganar form. Legendary playing out of their minds. This is akin to Frank Fang Gaming versus Cloud9 Tempest in the first set.
But I gotta take that away from them because they're not even playing out of their minds right now. Legendary kills are being handed to them. Stixay got way too aggressive. That was incredibly sloppy. That was awful, if we're being honest, and a rare misstep from Stixay. And I have to wonder if Misfits are starting to lose faith here as Legendary. I mean, that was a 2K gold lead building up into a 3K gold lead now, and that was a giant misstep, and they can't make mistakes like that. They don't make mistakes like that normally, and seeing it come out here is starting to make me doubt their performance, and I'm hoping they can turn it around, but they have to be careful.
Yeah, that is a very fair point to say that, you know, not necessarily Misfits doing all the work, you know, Legendary doing all the work, it's Misfits just kind of handing them to him, so very good point to bring up there, Sifa. Certainly not playing like themselves in this match so far.
Early in the game, I thought they were fine. They made some mistakes, but Stixay diving so deep for that tower, Alberto pushing in for the cask. I mean, they get the kill, so worth, I suppose, but they trade two members. They drop so much more, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Acadian's Yasuo has been absolutely beautiful, weaving in and out of the fight, using a great wind wall, but when you're two members down, Misfits really can't afford to contest anything, and it looks like they may give up a dragon as well. They can find a team fight. They can still turn this around. They're definitely not out of the game, but the attitude they displayed there is questionable.
Oh, flash forward to get that hyperkinetic position reversal onto Alex. Each has to wild growth himself. A nice flash forward from Low Valley to get the headbutt back. He will go down. Bishu finding that kill now. Alberto going to have to be on the run on the sideline. RF was looking to peek in from above, but just has to peel right back, does not have Meganar available, and without Alex each, there is no engage really for Misfits. Stixay just not in a position right now without that Yomos Ghostblade to engage and be able to rip through, you know, with his damage. It's just too weak at the moment, as we can see. That's going to be the second dragon of the game going over in favor, or rather the second dragon going over to Legendary, third dragon of the game total going over to Legendary. So nice acquisition by them, just stretching this lead that has been, you know, slightly earned, slightly handed to them. as we were discussing, and now looking for a push in onto this tier 1, and the bot side was looking to net themselves some, even more map objectives.
And really, it's good that you pointed out the difference in CC here, because this is exactly what we saw last game. Legendary picked a team comp with relatively low CC. Now, Misfits are doing it this time. Now, of course, Lulu has a lot built into her kit, but some of it's hard to execute. They don't really have anyone that uses the wild growth efficiently. The only person who jumps into the backline is RF, and it requires a lot of coordination and execution to use.
Yeah,
we see another engage
the
here.
backline, though. Low Pally going straight into the backline, zoning off all members of Misfits as they just burn through the tower. That one getting finished out impactful, just ripping through. Has that man immune, as well as the Brutalizer completed on top of the Frozen Heart. He is just pumping out all kinds of damage right now. Really good pickup. Meanwhile, on the top side, Stixay has that split push going on, trying to get the tier 2, but this could just be the re-engage here for Legendary. They go in on Alberto, they get the knockoff. That's going to be the last breath. Wild Growth does connect, the explosive cast falling out, but he's just getting pinned into the wall. Acadian taking so much damage, though, they're going to have to peel back off this one, so Misfits doing a pretty good job. The tier 2 top has fallen for Stixay, and he's going to continue that push in, and right now it's all about Misfits just denying the backs so that Stixay can get onto the inhibitor. The Howling Gale connects onto Impactful as they knock him up. The Mega Inferno Bomb coming through, though. Alberto so far forward, that's going to be the hyper-connect position reverser. He body slams away, trying to get himself to safety.
Alright, Legendary Meganar coming in.
Yeah, he has that one to try to just stave off these recalls even more and maybe get a kill. A nice stun into the wall, follows up. Bishu gets locked up. He goes down. Alberto finding that kill, and they clean house. Alex Ish finding the kill onto Dardoch as well, and this is Misfits gaining so much ground in this game. In part to that, I mean, that was a 4v5, and Stixay just splitting in the top side, nets himself 2 towers. Misfits coming back into this one.
And Stixay, good on him to split push there. It looks like it will be that Blade of the Rune King Youmuu's build, so we can talk about that in a minute. But Misfits, good map movement, good patience. And RF Legendary kind of struggling to have as much of an impact this game. You've seen him go down 3 times already, but right there in that instance, that was the ultimate that they needed to turn this game around. It transitions into that tower. Let's Stixay farm for free. Let's Stixay get ahead. Now the score, just about even. Only a 1k gold lead. Only a dragon in difference between those teams, and those 3 kills looking minuscule in comparison, as very quickly Misfits are finding their way back. So it looks like Stixay a little bit, maybe a little frustrated earlier with that tower dive play, a little too aggressive, but took a little time to cool off, split pushing down a quick 2 towers for his team, and of course, worked out just fine.
Yeah, fantastic play and shot going around the, across the board there for Misfits, just playing across all fronts fantastically. We can see now Legendary trying to play a bit far forward, getting some vision around this Baron Pit. They don't want that one to go over to Misfits because that would certainly spell their demise and the end of this best of 3 series. So trying to clear out as much vision as humanly possible. Low Pally playing quite far forward, should be relatively safe though. And we can see RF still in the top side, trying to hold on to that tower for as long as possible. It's like that last bastion of hope for Misfits around the top side of the map. So we'll hold on to that one for the time being. The rest of them playing quite far forward in front of this Baron Pit, maybe looking for a fight. RF on the backside does not have Meganar anymore. They might have to peel out of this one.
Of course, decent amount of pressure pushing down into the bot lane, but it should be fine. The Waves now starts to push against them. Of course, the team fight, I mean, for both of these teams, it's all about fighting in those tight spaces, about finding the appropriate engages, that Gnar, or potentially that last breath from Yasuo, depending on which team can fight on their terms. But keeping that in mind, the first team that walks into a choke, the first team that leaves themselves vulnerable, if the opposite side can find the engage, that team will be obliterated in an instant. Sejuani, Glacial Prison, into the Mega Inferno Bomb. Law Pally finds a 4, maybe a 5-man knock-up Acadian instantly. Middle of the team, Wind Wall to block any follow-up damage. That is the Wombo combo. On the opposite side, though, a single Gnar combined with a Wild Growth. That alone, combined with this Twitch damage on this crazy burst build with the Blade of the Rune King Youmuu's, can rip through an entire team. So both these teams building the Wombo combo, both somewhat difficult to execute if the teams aren't grouped up, and both sides have to play very careful, honestly.
Yeah, and Stixay is especially at risk because he wants to get in and get those assassination plays onto, Impactful. I might actually have to hold that thought as RF is looking to get assassinated. That's going to be the precision reverser. He gets taken down, Impactful finding that kill. And that's exactly what I was about to touch on. I was going to say Stixay wants to get those assassination kills. If he opens up onto Impactful, he's immediately going to get met by that ultimate from Urgot and get just completely switched into the thick of the team of Legendary. But a really good pickup there. This should enable for a relatively good siege from Legendary. You can see the shield, the Eye of the Storm coming through from Remelia. Nice explosive cast, knocking Impactful right into the thick of the fight. Now Low Pally playing quite far forward, gets that knock up. Last breath not going to follow through, making front of off onto the backside. Looks like it will be Alberto falling now. Dardoch picking up that kill as he gets taken quite low. Low Pally as well going to have to peel off of this one. Pretty effective siege. They take the tower down to about half HP and take a kill for their troubles. Really well played by Legendary.
And this Urgot already is just incredibly tanky for a lot of this damage, and Law Pally may get caught out here.
Oh yeah, Stixay on the hunt, gets headbutted back. Now Bishu in a good spot. Impactful coming in, and Wild Growth connects onto Stixay, but look at that damage coming through. Dardoch playing so far forward. That's going to be the flash over the wall for Stixay, but Acadian's falling through. He's not going to be able to land the Q, and now huge amounts of damage coming through. Alex Each finishing him off. Going to have to be on the run from those Acid Hunters. RF getting into that Mega Nard just in time. Gets a nice set into the wall. Can Stixay finish him off? Has that Blade of the Rune King popped. He will go down, though, for RF, and that's going to be trading back across the board. And now it's just Remelia versus Bishu. Alex each doing what he can to fire back from the side. The Glitter Lances, though, not going to be enough. Now Bishu just dancing around, trying to get in with that bouncing bomb. Not going to connect. Alberto coming around. Has that roll out the barrel to try to get a connection to slow him out and get this kill. The Minefield coming out to slow him even more. Bishu looking like he's going to be able to run away from this one. But Alberto's still on the chase. So much damage being burned out by this Zigzo. Alex each coming around the side. The teleport coming out from Acadian. That's going to be the disengage from Misfits.
Megan Pernobomb up in just a second. He could find another kill. We'll have to see if he goes for the throw here. A few more seconds till that one's available. And what? Just an insane play. Everybody dropping so low. Mid laners, the only ones really left standing at the end of that fight. And Bishu and Alex each clearly two titans in their respective roles as they both barely managed to survive. And Acadian leaping into that backline with such confidence ends up being a little bit of a misstep, and RF Legendary, good on him to provide the CC, barely keeps his team alive there, but I mean, Acadian doesn't have Infinity Edge yet. He's not at that insane Yasuo power spike, and already he has no fear leaping into the backline. We'll have to see what he can do when he gets there, but another engage already.
Yeah, RF doing what he can to try to stop this dragon, but to no avail. It's going to be the third one going over to Legendary yet again. Nice Howling Gale. Alberto playing quite far forward as to go in on the Low Valley. They're locking him up, but look at that damage going on to the Gragas as he gets chunked down. Low Valley with a huge pulverize, and now Stixay is in there. Sights as the Canadian goes in. They take him down, but they trade back. It's Impactful. Picks up a kill. Hyperkinetic position reverser onto Alex each. Throwing him into the thick of the fight. He gets burned down by Bishu. Legendary. Where did this come from? They're just ripping through Misfits. It's a double kill, a triple kill now for Impactful, and that's going to be the tier 2 mid going down.
And RF responded beautifully to that Wombo combo from Acadian, from the rest of the team, but it was not enough. He burned so much for so little. Bishu and Impactful left alive. And they're gonna break this inhibitor line. It's 28 minutes in, and Legendary have never looked stronger. Bishu 8-3-10, 11-2-9 for Impactful, and Misfits have to be left wondering what happened. I know we both are, and it looks like at the end of the day, superior execution and some controversial picks paying off here on the side of Legendary.
Wow, just absolutely phenomenal play coming in from Legendary. Just really turning on their game when it matters the most. Of course, here in this game point against Misfits coming up so huge. 23-16, about 5,000 gold in the lead for these guys, looking so strong. 2 more dragons to get that aspect of the dragon buff in their favor, and they're also up 3 towers. Objective control is just completely in their hands. If they give this one away to Misfits, I will be so utterly surprised at this point.
And the thing about this, though, is that Misfits are the team that move around the map better than any other team in Challenger right now. So if there's a team that can bring it back, it is the Misfits. But they're going to be hard-pressed to do so. 5k gold lead in the advantage of this Legendary lineup. That's manifesting in a lot of different ways. An additional little Youmu's on this Urgot build pass. So he's going to be able to burst out just about anybody. Similarly, can lock down the Twitch if he needs to. And you have to be careful, because if Lulu tries to lock down the Urgot, I mean, Acadian, this triple damage threat can easily just swing against them. They have to be careful how they do this. IE finish, now taking down Baron. We
All right,
could
yeah,
see a
Baron
fight.
so now Alberto going in for the steal. He gets it. Oh my
gets
God,
it!
Misfits taking it away. Alberto with a huge play, stealing out the Baron. Now the question is, what do they lose on the backside of this one? Remelia throwing out the Monsoon and the Howling Gale, but it looks like she will get locked up. She goes down. It's a double kill going over to Impactful. Now it's going to be RF, Stixie, and Alex each on the run, trying to stay alive and keep these buffs for themselves. Stixie already so low, has to run out. That Scrying Orb does get vision of him, but look at this Urgot Impactful. 13 and 2 and 9. Dash over the wall to lock up RF. He almost has the Meganar, but they're just locking him down. He gets the ultimate, but they're just gonna pop right through him. Bishu finding the kill, so they steal the Baron, but at what cost? 3 members go down. My God. What a steal, but Legendary coming right back in.
It's just trading blow for blow right now, maintaining their 5k gold lead on the back of those 3 kills. But Misfits now with this Baron buff, positioned to stall out at least a decent amount. Looks like we are going to have a pause come out, but this is a great opportunity to talk about exactly what happened there. Alberto, the LCS veteran, that experience showing for him well, not even a higher level than Dardoch. There is no way he should have gotten that smite, and yet finds a way in. Make sure that they don't have the vision of him. Make sure he can sneak in there. Dardoch caught completely unaware. The beautiful steal there. Remelia and a few other members of the team have to give their life to make that happen. But Baron buff going to make it a lot easier for this team to come back, and the gold advantage that it gave them, mostly mitigated by the losses they sustained afterwards, but kind of keeping themselves in this game purely on the back of Alberto and an amazing Baron steal.
Yeah, really amazing Baron. I did not think that he was going to get that one when he dashed into the pit. It seemed like there just wasn't enough time, but coming up with a huge steal. Absolutely fantastic play by Alberto, but they lose so much on the back end of that one. Just ripping through. Even RF, the tankiest member of Misfits, just getting locked down and burned out, even with the Meganar form not able to sustain through the damage that is just being output. Look at this Urgot. We haven't seen an Urgot hit this big in quite some time. 13, 2, and 10 now. Absolutely devastating. Down in CS, but it doesn't even matter. Look at the difference between him and Stixie. He's still up by about 300, 400 gold by comparison to this Twitch, just in kills alone. He's doing so well right now, and the rest of Misfits, they're going to be hard-pressed if they want to get through that. Because he's not only is he just outputting so much damage, but he's also wildly tanky because of that Frozen Heart.
And this is the big thing here. He does a ton of damage. Frozen Heart, even despite being a defensive item, boosts a lot of that Muramana damage. And, you can have a 70 farm lead, and that's going to be excellent, or 80 at this stage in the game. But it's not going to beat 7 kills. It's not going to beat 4 assists. And this Urgot from Impactful is absolutely terrifying. Every time you see that kill, you see that Champion Mastery badge coming up. And clearly this guy's been playing it a lot. He's been preparing for this and is finally able to bring it out here in the AlphaDraft Challenger League. And it has been nothing short of lethal. He's pretty much solely responsible for his team. A lot of these team fight wins with some amazing hyperkinetic position reversers and so just some amazing damage output.
Yeah, really crazy damage output. And yeah, that's a good point. His hyperkinetic position reversers have been absolutely on point. Whether it's, saving his own life or just deleting that of somebody else on the side of Misfits, he's been using them to the fullest of their, of capability to really just play around these team fights so well. We can see Acadian splitting in the top side. That's going to be Misfits trying to get some engage going on. Alberto not able to get the body slam, but here comes Acadian in. The hyperkinetic position reverser already used now impactful in the backside. The fight has exploded across the board. Take a look at what is going on here. Alberto getting knocked up in the side. That's going to be the last breath as Acadian tries to finish him off. Bishu will find that kill, but now Acadian getting locked up, as is Dardoch from RF. Meanwhile, 60 on the backside trying to get a kill. Impactful has gone down. 60 should be able to rip through. They get Bishu as well. The shields coming through from the Lulu and from the Janna. Stixie staying alive. They take down 3 members for 2. Misfits getting a nice reprieve from this team fight, and Stixie starting to come into his own. He's got that last whisper finally completed, able to fire out the damage, coming up huge on the Twitch. But Acadian back in the top side, trying to press his advantage and get more. Stixie will have to see if he's able to get this tier 2. Now Alex each going into the top side, trying to deny this back from Acadian, but look at that damage coming through. RF joining the fray. They should be able to take him down. He's got the knock up. He knocks up RF, gets the last breath yet again, but a nice wild growth will counter that one out. He goes down. RF finds the kill. Acadian getting knocked down. Good pickups coming in from Misfits, able to swing this game right on its head and maybe find their way back in.
That was, without a doubt, one of the best executed team fights we've seen in this series so far, despite the wombo combo, despite the constant looming threat of this amazing AoE damage coming out from the side of Legendary. Misfits played that fight incredibly patiently. Alistair, Law Pally, had to burn that Unbreakable Will, could not find his way into the back line, only able to get 2 with the last breath. We're not getting enough time to talk about
Here we go. There's no smite here. It will be the blue team taking this one away. Legendary now with 4 dragons. RF going over the wall, but look at that damage spike that he takes from Bishu and the Luden's Echo proc. My god, so much he has to go right back over the wall with the flash. So 4 dragons on the board now from Legendary, 1 away from getting that aspect of the dragon, which could really just help them net a victory here and tie this in a 1-1 situation against the Misfits. Back and forth constantly throughout this match.
And Misfits barely keeping themselves in the game. They steal a Baron. They steal a team fight, quite honestly, as they beautifully execute that one. Stixxay just able to sit in the back and do so much damage, and some pretty massive focus onto this Gragas not paying off, and really denying Legendary their combo here means that Stixxay just gets to do so much damage. RF Legendary getting an excellent Gnar off in that fight, and I'm impressed with the Misfits right now. Legendary have done so well to get this far ahead, but Misfits are one of the few teams I feel like we can never count out of a fight. There are so many challenger teams that haven't quite figured out how to execute a game from behind, how to come back. Misfits is not one of those teams. They are coming back strong. Only a 4K gold lead, down from what was about a 7K earlier on.
Yeah, really swinging themselves back into this one. Stixxay starting to come into his own now, has some major items completed, Infinity Edge tacked on to everything else that he has. Should be able to pump out some damage, but we still can't discredit Impactful, who's just been having such a good game from the get-go. As you can see, this is going to be Legendary pushing in, trying to take down this inhibitor yet again in the mid lane. Siege going out, Bishu throwing bouncing bombs from the sidelines, but they're going to have to be careful. There's a massive wave shoving against their top side.
If Misfits group, they will lose this team fight, but if they can spread out and find an engage on their team, they will have no problem tearing apart the Legendary lineup.
Yeah, Impactful moving forward. He's trying to get the pick. RF playing on the front side, though, trying to get that Mega Gnar. Now Alberto going in. Can they get the ultimate? It's a very nice headbutt. Will deny that engage from RF. Should stave them off, and this is probably going to be Legendary just waiting for Gnar to go back into his mini form. No, just going to go ahead and play right forward. They pop that Banshee's Veil off of Dardoch. Impactful doing what he can to pump some damage out onto this inhibitor, already down to half HP. They should be able to secure this one. The question is, can Misfits get something on the exit? Alberto going in, the explosive cast does connect, but he's already halfway dead. There is going to be the Wild Growth now. Low Valley going in deep on the backside. Acadian goes in as well as a double kill going over to Bishu. A kill coming in for Acadian, and RF has to hop out, but it looks like he's going to go down all the same. This could be a clean ace coming in. It will be, and that's going to be the game off the backside of a triple kill for Bishu. Legendary coming in, tying up 1-1. We're going to have a game 3. We're going to see who's going to win. One of these teams is moving on to the finals.
Acadian's Yasuo is huge. If you look at that scoreline, you see 2-5-18. You think he might have done okay. Those last breaths kept the team locked down. They let that Mega Inferno Bomb come down on the backside. You saw Bishu with the quick double kill. A beautiful, beautiful team fight and a huge misstep from Misfits as we saw Alberto go in there and won. I never thought we would go